Hey everyone, it's Cinema Lovers Incorporated, back at you again with a brand new video, and today I am reviewing Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 15. Yes, I know, this is really shocking because it takes me days to upload a video nowadays, and now I'm uploading the night it came out, and that's a good sign. This episode is fantastic. I loved this episode. Most of it. Now, I did have a couple problems with it, but we will get into that in a couple minutes. This episode ran very well for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. It was enjoyable, it was fun, it was fast-paced, it was dramatic, it had comedy in it, it had a little touch of romance, and it was overall great. And I felt like this was a fantastic episode to get you ready for the finale, which is coming out next week, and I'm actually pumped for it. I can't wait because, you know, Fear Season 4 has done a lot of bad things, and it's probably the worst Fear the Walking Dead season ever at the moment, but it's done some really good things as well. It's introduced some pretty good characters. I like John. I think June is okay. She gets a little annoying. Althea at the moment, but I really like John. I like Sarah. I think Wendell's cool. I like all the new characters. Most of them are great. Charlie's okay, and every other character is great in my opinion, for the most part. You know, Luciana, she's underused, but she's fine. But this episode is great because you have so much going on. You have John and Strand still trapped on the island, and Alicia and Charlie have to save them, but the crazy lady is stalking them, and then you have our other characters trapped on the rooftop in a Texas city. Jim, unfortunately, in the last episode, spoiler alert, he got bitten, and he is slowly succumbing to the infection. Jim is very harsh towards everyone else. They butt heads, and Jim, he seems to only care about the past, before the zombie apocalypse. He doesn't really think about the now. He thinks about when he made beer, and he doesn't really think about working together with the characters now. It was really interesting where Jim and everyone else butts heads, but later on, Jim decides to sacrifice himself for everyone to get away, and I really enjoyed that story arc. Now, a couple minutes ago, I said that this episode's not perfect. It isn't. I thought the first couple minutes of this episode were very rocky. It felt like they were trying to get to this awesome moment. I felt like the episode was going too fast in the beginning, and you can really tell that some of the line deliveries just felt off, and it just didn't feel right, the characters, the way they talked, especially June in the beginning, like the first scene, it just felt off, and I was really worried because I saw the sneak peek of this episode yesterday. I was very worried for this episode, but after the credits, I was surprised that this episode is probably the best episode in the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. It's fantastic. And after that rocky start, the episode is great for the most part. There are some silly moments where Althea's van crashes through the water and it saves John and Strand. It kind of takes away from the drama that we had in the last episode where we saw John and Strand fighting to survive against this alligator. It was a little bit too unreal, if you know what I mean, because this van just goes right through the water where John and Strand were trying to escape. It took away from the drama and what they were going through, but it wasn't too bad. Now, I'm not really sure about this Martha character. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to see where they go with this character in the finale, but she's just a little bit too silly for my taste. She is fresh, though. It's a fresh take on a character. We haven't had a standalone villain in a very long time. Normally, we've had just tons of groups fighting together. We haven't had a standalone villain in a long time. And she's fresh. She's a fresh take on, a villain. But I don't think her motivations are that clear. I mean, she lost her husband. It was bad. I don't want to lose a family member or a lover, but it just doesn't feel completely right, in my opinion. It could have been way more developed in the last episode, and we would have cared more. And Alicia shoots. Well, she doesn't. I'm sorry. She doesn't shoot the woman, Martha. Martha actually she faints, and we actually capture Martha, which is cool actually. So Martha is actually captured a little bit with our group because they want to save her. Unfortunately, she escapes. So Morgan and the group are trapped up on this. They're trapped up on the building, and there's another problem I have with Morgan. Now they really, every character is like, they're telling Morgan that he is like the leader of the group, but I never felt like he was. I mean, he's trying to get them to Virginia, and he's kind of like a guide, not really a leader, but a guide. And I never really understood why they see Morgan as this big leader now. I mean, sure, he makes some decisions, but that's what everyone made. They make a lot of decisions in Fear the Walking Dead, and it doesn't really feel right to me that they make Morgan, they shove Morgan out there like he's a hero when it just doesn't feel right. It feels like the writers, they don't really care about what we think. They want us to think something, and that's it. They want to shove it down our throats that Morgan is a crossover character, and they're going to keep shoving that down our throats, so they're going to make him like the hero, but it's not properly developed in my opinion. Other than that, this episode was great. You had Morgan, he got them down to the ground, and Luciana, June, and Wendell and Sarah, they meet up with Charlie and Strand and John and Alicia. They all meet up because they're all together now. I really like that they're all together. And they go back. They go back for Morgan. Now, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I wish it would have been a little bit more developed where they came from. I mean, they all they meet up, and then they have this like big, I don't know if it's like a fire engine or something, and then they take the fire engine, something like that, and they come back and they save Morgan. And it could have been developed a little more where they got that from, but I understand. They want to make it really thrilling and fast-paced. Jim, of course, butting heads with people. He eventually, he apologizes. He gives Sarah the beer recipe, and he commits suicide by jumping off and hitting the car. And the dent actually makes it look like Jim is sitting in a coffin, laying in a coffin. I think that was a really cool touch. My brother didn't pick up on it, but I picked up on it. It looks like a coffin. And poor Jim. I mean, I really like that character, and he went out pretty well. I enjoyed the way they made this character go out. He was a good character, and he went out pretty well. And Morgan, of course, everyone escaped, and yeah, we're going to have to fight Martha in the next episode. Everyone is together. We don't even... Oh, except Althea. Now, Althea is still stuck, it looks like, in the city. And it looks like Martha is chasing Althea down. I don't know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, but the finale looks great. I cannot wait, and I'm going to make a predictions video because someone has to die. I mean, someone's going to die. Martha definitely is probably going to die, but one of the characters in the group is probably going to die. I don't know who it is. I'm going to make a predictions video probably tomorrow or on Tuesday or Wednesday, but someone's going to die. But this episode was great. I thought this episode was fantastic. And I had a couple hiccups here and there, but it wasn't anything major. I really enjoyed Jim, how he went out, and it was actually really sad how Jim died, how he sacrificed himself. I really enjoyed how Morgan jumped off the building, and the thing I didn't like at first, this is before the episode ended, I really hated that Jim would not save Morgan. But it totally redeemed that scene because later on, of course, Jim commits suicide and he saves everybody's life. If Jim never committed suicide, I would have probably disliked this episode because Jim was just watching Morgan get attacked by this zombie, but later on, the episode redeemed itself by showing Jim sacrificing himself as a hero, so this episode was great. I want to give this episode an A+, but however, I will give it an A. This episode was great. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to give this episode an A+. It tried, okay? It tried to be a fantastic episode. It had a few hiccups, nothing serious, so I'm going to give this episode an A+. I really enjoyed this episode, and it's getting me really pumped for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 16, the finale. I haven't been this pumped for a Fear the Walking Dead episode in a very long time, probably since Episode 4 or 5 of Season 4. And that's saying a lot. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited for the finale. I was really excited for episode 15, and it was great. For the most part, it was great. Like I said before, few hiccups here and there. A+ for me. What do you guys think of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 15? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I thought it was great. I enjoyed the ending where they were all in the SWAT vehicles. Great episode. A+ for me. Tune in for Fear the Walking Dead next week as I review the finale, and then we jump right into The Walking Dead Season 9. Oh boy, we're gonna go through a lot reviewing that. But hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to whatever the heck you want to do, and goodbye. Bye everyone.